I am so proud to be here with all of you in Las Vegas, and I am super excited to be the host for the first ever Shaklee Science Symposium on the main stage. Today, you'll hear from many of the top scientists who work in the Shaklee Research Center and learn more about the amazing science behind our life-changing products directly from them. I hope you're excited because you're about to be the first to hear the latest science of the landmark study and many of our new products, including the Prove It Challenge. So without further ado, let's get right to it. It began over 100 years ago when Dr. Shaklee combined the power of nature with science to create the first multivitamin in the United States. Later, he introduced one of the first soy protein supplements in the world, and our core nutritional philosophy was born. Since then, everything we do, from the Shaklee products we create to the healthy lifestyles we promote, is proven. Shaklee is proven by the landmark study. The landmark study is one of the most important studies of long-term supplement users in the world and the first of its kind. It was conducted by an acclaimed nutrition researcher at the prestigious University of California at Berkeley. Now, they studied nearly 300 people who'd taken Shaklee supplements from between 20 and 40 years. And we compared three groups: people who took Shaklee supplements to people who took no supplements at all, or those who took just a single multivitamin. And the results were impressive. The landmark study showed that people who used Shaklee supplements had significantly better health outcomes compared to people who took no supplements or people who just took single multivitamins. Now, let's look at some of the results that are proven by science. People who took Shaklee supplements showed significantly healthy biomarkers associated with heart health, brain health, and inflammation. Let's start with the heart. When it comes to heart health, we look to some of the most important biomarkers recognized by the American Heart Association: cholesterol ratios and triglyceride levels. Now, lower levels of these equate to a lower risk for cardiovascular disease. And Shaklee users had better heart health. The landmark study showed Shaklee users had healthier cholesterol ratios, 11% lower, and lower triglycerides, 33% lower levels of this biomarker for heart health. Next, we look to an important marker for brain health. Homocysteine levels have been shown to be an important indicator for dementia risk. And we measured levels of homocysteine in our Shaklee group against people who took single multivitamins or no supplements at all. And the study showed that Shaklee users had 36% lower homocysteine levels. This is important because it means they may be less susceptible to cognitive decline and dementia associated with aging. And last but not least is inflammation. Inflammation is thought to be a major factor in poor health outcomes. Now, a key biomarker is this C-Reactive protein. Are you ready for this? Shaklee users had 59% lower levels of C-Reactive protein. So, in addition to the objective data, the study population gave us their own self-reported health levels. And what did we find? Well, the Shaklee population reported much better overall levels of health. In fact, 84% reported having very good to excellent health compared to only 49% in the non-supplement users. And they also reported taking little to no medication. In fact, Shaklee users reported 83% lower prescription drug use compared to non-supplement users. You know, results like these are no accident. They're achieved by strong science and sound design, because we put our best scientists, hundreds of thousands of hours and years of work into making sure that everything we do works for you. Because if it doesn't work for you, well, then it doesn't work. This is the science of what we call living proof, and it doesn't stop here. So today I'd like to introduce you to our latest research. 10 years after the original landmark study, we're proving it again with our latest study findings, and the results are impressive. Now, to help me share the latest exciting new findings of the landmark study, I want to bring out our Executive Vice President of Research and Development. Dr. Jim Brooks heads Shaklee's global R&D team, and he leads the effort to bring breakthrough products that embody the Shaklee difference to our Shaklee family all around the world. Dr. Brooks is a proven leader of research and development with over 30 years of industry experience in nutrition, agricultural, and food sciences. Prior to Shaklee, Jim served in many leading scientific positions for major brands, including the Campbell Soup Company, Nestle, and Abbott Laboratories, where he worked on the research and development of infant formulas and medical foods. Jim is a PhD in plant physiology. He serves on university advisory boards and committees, including the expert committees relating to dietary supplements for the U.S. Pharmacopoeia. So without further ado, please give a warm Shaklee welcome to the stage, Dr. Jim Brooks.
Shaklee family, I am pleased to be with you again at the Shaklee Global Conference and to share with you the latest findings from the Landmark Health Study. As Les shared with you, the Landmark Health Study is one of the most extensive studies in the world in the role of nutrition and health. The initial findings 10 years ago were impressive, but the latest findings are even more so. We want each of you and all people to live younger and longer. One of the ways to measure if people are living better as they get older is the amount of medication that they take. We knew from the initial findings of the landmark study that Shaklee users take far less medication than non-Shaklee users. And in our latest studies, the results are even better. We looked at the medication usage of people across ages and genders, and this is what we found. Shaklee users who are 20 to 39 years of age use 97% fewer medications. It's impressive. Shaklee users who are 40 to 59 years of age take 89% fewer medications. And candidly, even more impressively, Shaklee users who are 60 years of age or older take 83% fewer medications. That is absolutely phenomenal. Give yourselves a hand. In our latest landmark study, we also measured key biomarkers for overall health and compared our Shaklee population to other groups. We started with indicators of good health. For this, we measured nutrient levels in the blood. And we found that Shaklee users had significantly higher biomarkers for good health. First, we looked at omega-3. In the latest research, omega-3 is showing up again and again as a significant factor in heart health. Shaklee users had 75% higher levels of this important biomarker. Another nutrient that is critical for optimum health is vitamin B12. B12 plays an important role in the body's nerve and blood cell health, and it even supports the synthesis of DNA. In this new study, we found Shaklee users had 132% higher levels of vitamin B12. And finally, we looked at vitamin D, one of my all-time favorite inadequate nutrient intakes among those who are not Shaklee users. If you go to a doctor today, he or she will likely give you a blood test for your vitamin D levels. There is significant research about the role of vitamin D to your bone health, and there are multiple compelling studies indicating vitamin D plays a unique role in your immunity and in the life cycle of your cells. Demonstrating that our products can help you maintain the right levels of this essential vitamin is an important biomarker for better health. And these findings show that Shaklee users have 141% higher levels of vitamin D than non-Shaklee users. At Shaklee, we work very hard each and every day, and we have many really strong, dedicated, and committed people who work to make sure that you get the right nutrients for your body for optimum health. And we know it isn't only about getting the good things in, it is also about keeping harmful things at bay. So we also tested people for indicators of poor health. And we found that Shaklee users had significantly lower markers for poor health as well. Let's start with inflammation. Inflammation is indicated as one of the root causes of health concerns as we age. Higher levels of C-reactive protein are key indicators of biological stress. And for optimal health, we want to see low levels of C-reactive protein. And in this latest study, Shaklee users had 36% lower levels of C-reactive protein. We also reviewed the risk factors associated with poor heart health because having a healthy heart is a major factor in each of our ability to live a long and vital life. And in this area, having lower triglycerides is also important. And as the slide has already shown, Shaklee users had 32% lower levels of triglycerides. And finally, we looked at insulin and glucose levels. High insulin and blood glucose are major risk factors for diabetes. And what we found is that people who take Shaklee supplements and follow the healthy Shaklee lifestyle have 24% lower levels of insulin and 11% lower blood glucose levels. I'm going to tell you at the end that you don't have to sensationalize this story when you share it with your customers and your family and new prospects, because the data itself is sensational. At Shaklee, we scientifically design our products to ensure that each of these essential nutrients end up in your body and are measurable in your blood. And as a result, you can confidently say that people who follow the Shaklee lifestyle and use Shaklee products will have higher levels of biomarkers for good health, lower levels of those biomarkers indicating poor health, and will live better and healthier. And in the case of a few of these biomarkers, you can also tell your customers and friends that they are likely to not only live better, but they may also even live longer. Now let's briefly look at why. A few of these markers that we've looked at are associated with two of the most significant causes of death today: cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death globally, with 18 million people dying each year. 1 out of every 3 deaths is a result of cardiovascular disease, and here's an amazing number. 122 million Americans live with this disorder, and our population is just over 350 million. So key risk factors for cardiac arrest when you have cardiovascular disease include hypertension and high cholesterol. And a new risk factor for cardiovascular disease is the omega-3 index. As we shared with you a few moments ago, our new landmark study showed that Shaklee users have a 75% higher omega-3 index. What this means is that those Shaklee users have a much lower risk for experiencing a cardiac arrest, and we calculated the probability percentage. We found that Shaklee users have a 90% reduction in the risk of cardiac arrest based on their omega-3 index. These are really, really good results. I mean, these are really good results. I mean, I hope some of you have chill bumps or goosebumps as we're going through this, because this is good stuff. And this is all about each of you. Shaklee users also have a much lower incidence of type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is the fourth leading cause of death and the only major chronic disease continuing to rise in prevalence globally. 1 out of 3 Americans have diabetes or prediabetes. 1 out of 3. And the good news is that it's 90% preventable and reversible with proper nutrition and weight loss. We tested the prevalence of diabetes in our most recent landmark study, and thanks to the proven science of Shaklee products and the Shaklee lifestyle, Shaklee user risk for type 2 diabetes is 52% lower. It's a good number. As a result of these findings of the landmark health study and hundreds of clinical published and peer-reviewed studies, our scientific conclusion is that people who use Shaklee have markedly better health than non-supplement and even other multiple supplement users. Results like these are just one reason why I'm so very proud to be a part of all of you and to be a part of Shaklee. Thank you. But now here's the challenge. As I've already said, you don't have to sensationalize this story. This story is sensational. And now it's up to each of you to go and share this proof, not speculation, not anticipation, not fantasy, to share this proof with the world and to help people live better and healthier and longer with Shaklee. Thank you all very much.